Hey, I am recording this today on, what is the date? Because I want to remember this date. It is Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I want to do two things in this video. One thing, write a review for Goat Simulator 3, and two, pitch a game idea. I might also touch on the meaning of life. I think, so here's the thing. I came home, we haven't had any for a week, and I've been like scraping just to keep my sanity. But I had written that note to myself as a child that I had wished that I had had a person in my life that would have supported me as unconditionally as I have. And you can go read that. I'll link that in the bio. But what I just did just now, I had to scrape out the tiniest little bit on the bottom, but I was able to fill up like a whole, and I am just popped right now. So I had to record this. Otherwise, if I didn't record it, I would never remember this, because when I come back down, I'm going to be just as much of a dumb autistic as I was before. So here's the thing. Goat Simulator 3. It is an amazing game. It is a fun, amazing, enjoyable experience. It doesn't have to be perfect visually, graphically, or even, you know, gameplay and mechanically. But you have all these different options, all these different fun ways you can blow yourself up and blow other people up, and it is amazing to be able to play it right next to somebody else that is also playing it with a split screen multiplayer, right? Like, that's the kind of games I grew up with as a kid. It wasn't, you know, like Fortnite and multipass and game station. I'm sounding like an old man at this point, sorry. But it was me and my friend playing it. It wasn't the graphics, it wasn't the, you know, it wasn't the quality of the game, because back then it was, you know, the 8-bit 16-bit games, and as nice as they are now in our, you know, collective memories, you know, Super Mario blown up 200% on an actual screen is not that, you know, impressive, and you didn't have a lot you could do. But it was mostly about the friends that you were playing with. It wasn't about it wasn't about the gameplay itself, you know. It was the camaraderie, and the two-player split screen games don't have that these days. So good on you, Coffee Stain Studios, for making an amazing game that me and my 8-year-old daughter, well, no, I'm sorry, she just had a birthday, 9-year-old daughter, my 9-year-old daughter and I had just played, and I had cried with my daughter next to her for the first time in like 20-30 years. What year is this? 23, yeah. That'd be about 30 years. Anyway, for those that don't know me, I have a little bit of childhood trauma of emotional neglect, and I'm processing it. And what the thing I've learned is that when I was a kid, I did not have anybody I felt comfortable talking to, because I was a wildly rambunctious kid who was told time and time again to be quiet and sit down in church, because my dad, the preacher, didn't want to have a bad impression on the deacons, or we'd have to get boxed up and move again to another church. So I have a little bit of religious trauma on there too, and I'm unloading that in a book I'm writing. Don't worry about that. That's for a different video. But what I was thinking about when I was playing with my daughter was this kind of thing. The multiplayer side by side, but just fun, explosive gameplay. It needs to make a comeback, and I'm not going to say that it's going to save the world or anything, but it might make it a little bit more enjoyable for a handful of people. And that is what I want to do with my life. I want to go to E3, and E3 is not a thing anymore. Fuck. I want to go to the canceled Comic-Con most. I want to get a really big YouTube channel or something to feature me and say, hey guys, go check out this guy's Patreon. And I would get enough people to just say, hey, yeah, sure, $5 for this guy who's really passionate about making an awesome game. Yeah, I could do that. I want enough people to do that I can walk up to my boss and say, hey, fuck you, I don't work for you anymore. I don't want to actually do that because I want to give them 2 weeks because I do have kind of a specialized job. That's kind of beside the point. I want the ability to just walk up to my boss and say, fuck you, I'm gonna stay at home. I want to be a stay-at-home dad and put all my effort into protecting this little girl and making video games that make people happy. That's what I want to do with life. I want to make a game that reminds me of the cartoons and the games that I played with and watched as a kid. I want to make something like the Ninja Turtles meets Batman on acid, and I want to have a Captain Spaceman Saves the Universe game, which is basically Goat Simulator with a plot. That's what I want to do with a little kid, with my daughter. I want them to be able to do that with their friends and not have to worry about people out there on their dreams in Congress and people in the news trying to... I don't want my daughter to grow up as emotionally stunted as I did because all I had to do was sit at home and play video games because I didn't have any friends because I moved a half a dozen times before I was 12 years old. Damn it. Anyway, I'm going to CC my therapist on this video, but I'm going to work on Unreal Engine 5. I am probably going to be going through starting with Blueprint. I am very bad with code. So I am going to try to make a Captain Spaceman game that can get me out of this life, out of this ghetto hellhole, out of this 99 Corolla with a broken window and no catalytic converter. I hate Ohio, but I want to make video games about an from Ohio that left and got his good name made out there in the galaxy.